and be in love, wild ones. It's Bernadette, and I'm pre-recording, but I am here for your Wednesday pick a card love reading, love tarot reading for this Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. And I'm saying it like that because, I was thinking this is the first time since I've been reading for you guys that Spirit has ever said this card, these messages, it's totally about love. Probably romantic love. Yes, romantic love. Yes, only romantic love. Now, what's really fascinating about that I keep hearing incoming, is that, and I'll get to the card in just a second, is that it can seem like a love reading may not be for you because maybe you've been in a relationship for a billion years and you're like, I don't need a love reading. I don't know. Is everything as perfect as you want it to be? Are there areas where you could be more creative and make, just kind of polish up your blueprint for what you want that relationship to be like, or how you want to show up for the relationship, or have somebody else show up for that? There are a lot of things that are that can go into a love, a tarot reading that's very specifically focused on love, the romantic love type. And one of the other things that let me just show you the card and then you'll understand why I'm hearing these things. So it's Three of Pentacles, which is mouse. In my deck, for those of you just joining us, welcome to the Wild Pack. And I read from my own award-winning, history-making Arc Tarot and Oracle deck. And it's based on the Waite, 78 traditional cards, and then brings extra power and extra energy into it by infusing that with all the animal allies. And there are 100 different animal allies in the deck. So what I keep hearing is it's the little things, mices, mices, mouses, they're tiny. We're not talking about rats. We're specifically talking about mice. And, it can be just incredible how one word could be spoken, or one look on somebody's face can, another person can see. And then they start that whole interpretation, and then they get their mind spinning like, well, a mouse or a hamster in a wheel, and women, listen, we're famous for that, right? We're famous for that. It's like all the memes or all the jokes in movies, or, that kind of thing where, the woman is sitting there. And men really, I guess they do it too. I've had this conversation with men. They do, but I just don't think they do it to the degree women do. And we're all like, oh my God, does he still love me? Or does she still love me? Or, do they still love me? And blah, 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 blah. And maybe you're already down this rabbit hole. You're circling the drain of just going through all this stuff, and, because they're being quiet. And you're like, why are they being so quiet? Oh my God. And then the next thing you know, they turn around and ask you what your favorite hairband was from the 80s. Or, hey, is there, are there more pickles in the refrigerator? And you're like, oh. So, today the ruling chakra is the solar plexus chakra. And that's where your creative and artistic drive comes from, is that beautiful, glowing, gold, vibrant energy, right? So you are being called within your love relationship to maybe take a look at some things. And I keep hearing implement some actions, some words, some deeds, some whatever that are creative and maybe, out of your box a bit. But there's good reason for that, because your partner is going to respond really well to that extra step that you're going to take. Just the fact that you did it for them, or were thinking of them, or invested in making them happy, that's how they're going to react. However, remember, how do I put this? So remember, we've got the mouse and the Three of Pentacles inverted. Sometimes that card will come when you just gotta know, when to hold them and when to fold them. that might be going on in a love relationship for you right now. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can just take baby steps. Remember, we're talking about small steps leading to big change. Small steps leading to great bodies of work, to maybe your opus in terms of love and relationship. And that swings both ways, meaning maybe it's time to, fish or cut bait in your relationship, but that, if that is the case, it will serve you very well, because the Three of Pentacles card in the traditional tarot meanings, tarot card meanings, is all about collaboration. It's all about following your dreams. And so if you're not, wow, okay, sorry, actually, I'm not going to apologize. I'm in a super psychic zone this morning, like super crazy psychic. And because when I step into the energy of the collective, I hear a lot of different voices and feel a lot of different things all at once. And I literally just heard somebody say, but let me tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then I'll tell you what I heard in my head. So maybe it is time for you to go. Maybe that relationship is not working, maybe mostly due to the other person, or that's how you perceive that it is it's due to the other person, what they will do, what they won't do, so on and so forth. But I literally just heard somebody's voice say, Bernadette, remember the sword and the coin. And that means that it's not a double-edged sword, not technically. That's the phrase that we use. And we say a two-sided coin, and we'll flip it, but technically it's not two-sided. Both of those are three-sided. You've got the top, you've got the bottom, or the front and the back, however you choose to look at it. And then you've got that little rim all around the middle. Well, that's a side, right? And if you wanted to get super picky, if we don't think of the middle of a coin or a sword as connected, now we've got two separate sides, which could give it four. Really depends on how you look at it. But at the end of the day, what if you're not the one that is ponying up in the love relationship, for whatever your reasons are? No judgment here. Then can you find it in yourself to either get back on track with how you feel and interact with this person or persons? In the spiritual communities, there are a lot of polyamorous relationships. They're open, and that's really across the board. But, and then there are open relationships. There are relationships of all kinds. And you're being asked, if you're the one and you're just like, I'm just not in that place anymore, or whatever you're feeling, it's like you're being called to do your partner a solid. Be kind to them, and don't engage in things that are gonna hurt them worse, or do engage in things that will make you feel comfortable. Maybe talking with them, explaining how you feel, explain what you want. So again, it cuts both ways. And then there's that middle component that's kind of the unknown, but you don't have to do it all at once. You don't. But you are being called to consider, like for instance, let's say you've been married 1,000 years, right? It's so easy to get complacent. It is so easy. No matter how much you love them. And let's say that you take a look back on the last 6 months or a year, and you're like, you know what? I haven't cooked that person's favorite meal, or conversely, they haven't bothered to take me out to dinner, or, hey, we were supposed to plant this garden together, or, listen, we could do this laundry list all day long. People have different things that they love to do together, right? But let's say that your partner really has, been maybe not as attentive as they once were. Is that true? Or is it your perception of that? Has that, what they're doing for you now, is that a different way of being, a different love language, or a different dialect within that love within that love language where they do other things. I mean, this is, to give you, for instance, I decided to get my oil changed the other day, right? The place is literally 2 minutes from my house. 2 minutes. I stalled and I stalled and I stalled and I stalled. I didn't want to go get my oil changed. That's what husbands are for. That's what partners are for. And it's not true, but it's just, that's a little thing that irked me, right? I sat in that place the whole time. I almost melted my cell phone doing texting on the cell phone, right? So when you take a look at the number 3, that is the divine triad, right? That is the Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Maiden, Mother, Crone, and lots of other things. Well, if you all are connected as a 2, what is prohibiting you? What is prohibiting you from closing that gap and making it a triangle, where instead of being separate, where this is one faction of energy and this is another faction of energy, you bring that energy together and you connect it in such a way that together you have the power. Together you draw the power up, and you focus it, and that laser beam, we'll call it the laser beam of love. That laser beam of love can move mountains. It just can make the most beautiful things come true. As long as you're willing to, again, remember, this is the Pentacles in an inverted position. Now, this also might signify that you and your loved one are going through a bit of a financial rough patch. And maybe that's all it's about. It's not about being neglected, or, maybe somebody's fallen out of love with somebody else, or somebody's got their eye on somebody else. It may not be about anything like that at all. It may very well just be about finances. Listen, COVID 2020, that's tough, and is still tough for a lot of people. So maybe that's the collaboration that you've got to get focused on, but the animal allies are telling me it's got to be that you focus on it together. Case in point, when I tell you guys I love you all, I'm not kidding. I really am not. And what that means is, you really are part of the wild pack to me, because I don't have to meet you face to face to feel what your energy is, right? Like that voice I was hearing earlier. I know it's one of you out there. I know it's your voice. I know it is. I could probably describe what you're wearing today. Easily peasily. Easy. So, by the way, it's some shade of green with stripes in it. I saw green and I saw stripes. That's all I can say about the top part. So if somebody was wearing green with black stripes on it today, put it in the comments. Because you were the one that was yelling in my ear. You were the one that was psychically yelling in my ear. When you're talking about a love reading, my experience has been that clients want an answer. And no matter how they couch the question, what they're really asking is this the one? Are they cheating on me? Am I going to get caught cheating? Is this person right for me? Are we going to get, married and have 3.2 babies and, a little white picket fence? They're really asking a different question. But you see, once you verbalize that question, now you're hanging out there, in front of God and everybody, for all the world to see, waiting on your answer. And that's terrifying. It truly is terrifying. So I guess I'm not surprised that a love tarot reading came up. It's February, and the energies swirling this month are, they're love. So it makes sense. But the way the message is coming through is pretty heavy duty for a month that's supposed to be, we're throwing rose petals, and, we're leaving out cupcakes for little Cupid. And, it's flowers. It's not really. I love Valentine's Day. I'm going to buy myself a whole big bunch of those hot tamales, my favorite candy in the whole world. Oh my goodness, I can't eat enough of those things. Actually, I can. So I took a break for a month. So this reading might hit you pretty hard today, but it's all about the Wednesday. We're connecting the beginning and the end, which is not really a beginning and an end because it's never ending. Every seventh day is going to be Sunday. That's it. in that, no matter what you're experiencing in love, there is definitely a call for you to work with the divine, because the ruling planet is Mercury, right? We want to definitely get our solar plexus chakra a spinning and a winning like a hamster or a mouse in a wheel, because that's going to generate the energy for you to come up with something that you want to do for your partner just because you want to, right? And maybe that person has been a little complacent and neglectful. Don't say anything. Just do something nice and go on about your merry business, as long as you want to do that. It's got to be authentic. And when we also take a look at mice, they move quickly, fast. Even if they're trapped, they try to move, that's part of how they survive, is they just scurry. So I'm feeling like there's a sense of urgency with this, meaning if love, romantic love of some kind, and any of the circumstances that the animal allies have brought me to describe to you all today rings true with you, resonates with you, don't sit around and think about it until February 28th. Get with program. Get on the stick, right? Okay. Wow. I really hope that was helpful. The only thing I can think of, because we've had some really unusual readings, and at this point, I've done over 65,000 readings in 30 years. So there's something going on with you guys, the wild pack. I think you're craving different. I think you're craving different interpretations of tarot. And I'm one of very few people that use spirit, totem, and power animals. Well, nobody not uses them, but presents them. Nobody does that I know of yet. I hope to find them that is employing the program that the spirit animals brought to me, which is a spirit animal means one thing, a totem animal means another thing, and a power animal means another thing. They don't really, but just for the sake of working in their energy and their medicine, we can compartmentalize like that. Most people just work with power animals or totems, and again, all the words are interchangeable, right? But even with animal totems, it feels like you guys are craving fresh, new viewpoints and messages from spirit that are completely applicable to the card, completely resonate with the animal, completely right, but isn't the same old that you've read in books and watched people talk about. And because I set my intention to be what's going to serve them best at this moment. So I have to thank you guys. I'm having some crazy magical moments with these readings, and it's expanding me as a reader. Like, I don't even know. There's no gauge for that, but I just feel it from the inside. So thank you very much for all you do. Thank you for showing up for yourself. That will go out into the world around you. And thank you for showing up for me and the animal allies. All right. So pick up your copy of the award-winning History Making Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, stay wild.